while since we seen each other. 2021, we in 2024, Dubai. Before we even get into that, well, to get into that, I want you to tell everyone about your journey that led up to us even meeting in Dubai. Like what inspired you to even go to Dubai? Because you didn't just go to Dubai.
I didn't. I did, but I didn't.
And you was by yourself when we met. So yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Where would I start? One, I would say, what got me to Dubai? I was in the depressed season. I had just left corporate. I was on this journey of discovering myself, finding myself, trying to figure out what I really wanted to do. In my depressed state, I knew that that wasn't how I was supposed to be living. So the best way I can figure myself out was to leave where I was at, including America as a whole. So I ended up going to Dubai. What got me there? I honestly just reached out to a travel agent and told her to tell me to. I told her to take me somewhere random because I knew if I chose, I was going to do somewhere safe. And she said, I think you should go to Dubai, plus Egypt, plus Greece, plus a lot of other places that we'll get into. But that's what got me there. I was placed there just by asking someone to put me somewhere so I can discover who I was and figure out what I wanted to do.
Even like, but as a woman traveling by yourself, like what was going through your head? Because you had to be like really depressed and not even really think about that and say, "Fuck it, I'm just going on a trip."
Yeah, I've always been a very adventurous person, and I'm the only child. I'm the first generation student, homeowner, everything you can possibly think of. So I've naturally lived a lonely life in general. So going by myself wasn't really an issue. It was just the thought of my safety that was an issue.
That's what I want to get into.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
safety wise, I was scared as hell because I'm a black woman, first of all. A black woman traveling by myself, going to a place where people put so much fear because of a different religion. Covering myself, like there were so many different things that was going on. But at the end of the day, I just put all of the safety measures in place. Got a travel agent who knew every single whereabout. I made sure I stayed where the tourists stay. I didn't go outside of the outskirts trying to do nothing that I would have no business doing. And I prayed. I'm a very big woman of God. I just prayed. It was also during COVID, and this may sound kind of interesting, but since I knew it was around that time, I felt more safe because everybody needed capital around the time. I didn't feel like I would be harmed or damaged in any type of way. I was still scared on the way there. My mama was so crazy. She crying on the phone, praying, all this stuff. I'm like, you gotta chill. But what made it very comforting for me is because I chose to go to Dubai on first class.
You went first class?
I went first class. I didn't tell you that part.
Nah.
I went first class, and the reason why I did that is because I needed the most extravagant experience possible to keep me calm because I was by myself. And that once I got the champagne in my hand when I got on there, I was good to
You
go.
was good to go.
Yeah, I was fine. I was good. And then I did a lot of research prior. I studied their norms, their rules, their laws. I dressed like them while I was there.
You did.
I made sure that I understood what I was going into before just going there. So I was studying and going down rabbit holes on Dubai for about 2 months before I even got there. So by me understanding the customs, and I even practiced a couple of words like thank you, you welcome, my name, just so I can communicate with them a little bit, but without making it seem like I was trying too hard. So since I did my due diligence of making sure that I understood where I was at, who I was, as well as where I was going, like around in regards to navigation, I felt okay. Plus the champagne.
I was feeling that same way when I went.
Really?
Yeah, because I was by myself. That was my first that wasn't my first time traveling overseas by myself, but that was my first time traveling and like staying. How long you stay for? Because I was there for 8 days.
I was there for a week.
You and I both. Okay.
I stayed for a week.
Men get nervous too.
Do you?
Yeah, I mean, I know I do. Things can happen to us too.
That's true.
It's not just women. Like you gotta look at it like this. You can get detained because that's really the main thing. For most cases, like you can get detained not knowing what you're getting yourself into. But just speaking on Dubai because you did go to other places. Was it what you thought when you got there?
It was better than what I thought when I got there.
How?
Dubai was the most safest place ever.
Absolutely, I agree. I just wanted you to say it because when I say it, then people think I'm boosting, but I'm like, nah.
I'm a black woman. I am shapy. I'm very pretty. And it was the most safest place I went to. I went to 5 countries. That was the hands down most safest place.
The most safest place.
I didn't feel like I was being stared at all the time. I got some stares, but it wasn't like the other countries. I didn't feel like I was being what is the word I'm looking for? Not pounded on. When people trying to make plays on you. I didn't feel like I was being studied or what is the word I'm looking for?
Observe.
Yes, I didn't feel like I watched my back regardless, but I didn't feel like I had to look left and right all the time. I felt free there. I walked around. It was just cool. It was a lot safer than I
Another
thought.
thing about Dubai I like is that you ain't really getting hustled too much.
I think that was another word too. It ain't a lot of people trying to sell stuff to you.
Trying to hustle. Yeah. The air was different. Everything was different. But do you remember the day we met?
I do, on the yacht.
Yeah. But like, so that was actually my birthday. Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't.
We went to that spot,
The
like
hookah place by the hotel.
That was for my birthday.
You didn't say that. You did not say that.
Are you sure?
I'm very positive.
It was my birthday.
You didn't say that. You saw my GoPro and you asked me what was I doing.
And I already knew what was up. I already knew what was up. I looked around like she by herself. She got the GoPro. I just so happened to leave my GoPro in the room that day. But we was on the same type of time though.
It's your birthday. What date was it then?
June 6th.
June 6th.
June 6th.
That was a very good day because we walked. It was hot. We walked all the way back
to the marina.
Yep. Because you had something after that. You was doing something else, and I was going to my room.
I forgot what I did. That was my last day.
Because you was preparing to go to.
We both was preparing to go to Egypt. So how was it? Because I mean, Dubai is easy. So for anybody who's planning on traveling to Dubai, if you're a solo traveler as a woman, don't even worry about it. But Egypt though,
scary as hell.
Now, yeah. Now, see, that's the part that I want to get to. That's the part that I was gearing up to. I didn't want to just jump into that. I want to get Dubai out the way. But I'm gonna say this: Egypt for me, when I went, I was like, oh, because like I was this close from pulling off a Dubai type move by just going out there. But something told me to go ahead and just do it how my homeboy did it because he had went to Egypt already, and he had hired a guide. Shout out to Muhammad. Muhammad is a great guide in Egypt. If you go to Egypt, make sure you holler at Muhammad. I'm gonna drop a link in the bio so y'all go check him out. But thank God I hired him, yo. Thank God I planned that strategically because if I would have went out there with no plan, yo, and you had a whole plan.
I had a guide every trip I had because I was a woman. So my travel agent booked me.
You had a guide in Dubai?
I had a guide in Dubai. I didn't have a set guide, but every car pickup, every
you had a guide like that. Yeah. Now for Dubai, do you feel like a woman needs that to go to Dubai?
I would say that if you don't have a guide, at least have a plan.
Yeah.
At least have a plan. Now, the thing about Dubai, the Ubers are safe, the taxis are safe. You ain't got to worry about nobody trying to take you or do anything like that. It's very, very safe.
And they speak English?
They can speak very good English, and they understand everything. They know how to get you around, and they don't take advantage of you there either. They're very, 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 very honest. Customer service is top tier. My hotel guy, he hooked me up. I can't remember his name because it was so long ago, but It's very safe. You don't need a guide. If you don't get a guide, just please have a plan so that way you don't waste any time. If you don't have a plan there, you're going to get fascinated by how it looks and your day is going to fly by. So just have a plan or have a guide.
But Egypt, a whole nother level.
Egypt is a whole nother level. Egypt, I was scared.
When you got off,
when I got off the plane, first of all, I should have did Egypt then Dubai because going from Dubai to Egypt, it was like a culture shock.
Oh yeah.
In the plane, they were mean, they were yelling, and I promise it was like this fast.
Yeah.
People were going quick. As soon as I got off the plane, it was chaos.
It was.
And as soon as I got my bags,
as soon as you get the bags they got out, yeah. Like paparazzi.
What the heck is going on? And Egypt is a place where I did hear stuff like Michelle Obama, Beyonce. Like they automatically thought I was either they thought I was somebody or they was just trying to manipulate me.
Yeah.
But the driver itself who picked me up, first of all, I couldn't find him and I was panicking. So my travel agent was sending me pictures, sending him pictures because I reached out to her and said, this is completely different. I need you to FaceTime me. And she handled everything for me, but the driving there, I didn't see no stoplight. I barely saw any stoplight.
Me neither.
I only probably seen like 5 total.
What time did you get there? Was it nighttime? Morning?
No, it was daytime. I would never travel through a different country as a solo traveler at night. I did it in Greece on accident, but that's because my flight was delayed. But all of my trips, I plan them to where I get on early in the morning and I flip it. So that way I'm sleeping at the night in the country that I'm in, and by the time I wake up, it's daytime in that country. So I get to explore.
Right.
But it was the daytime.
So Egypt, like, what? How? Like, yeah. What was okay? What was the time? So from the time you got, because I know you had a nice hotel.
I did.
But outside of the hotel experience, when you was with your guide, your English speaking guide, how was that? Because even when you with your guide, you still gonna get ran down on.
Yeah. And I promise, I still think that my guide, he was a very popular guide, but I still think that they have deals.
They do
with Americans. Like, okay, this is the person I'm guiding today. I'm gonna strategically bring them to all of your places to make them stand. So I felt hustled the whole entire time. I was just really smart with my money, but Egypt wasn't as friendly or welcoming as Dubai. I was really shocked at how it looked. I don't know why in my mind I expected. I was in Cairo.
Yeah.
So, first of all, driving into that from Dubai, I almost started to cry because they didn't have shoes on their feet. The homes was like half the thing, like the wood and the brick was off of the home. And it was also during COVID. So a lot of them were truly really, 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 really struggling. So my heartstrings was pulled a little bit going in, but then my mind automatically started thinking about the Bible. I won't talk about that part. But I was scared. I wasn't sure. I honestly was like, did I make the right choice? Like, do I need to go somewhere else? Because I did not feel safe at all. But oddly enough, after I got into my room and I prayed, because I was like, God, you got to protect me because I'm truly scared. The next morning, I felt so free. Once I got past the culture there and the custom, it was the most holy, free, cleansed experience I've ever got, especially after I went in the pyramid.
How was that? I know when I saw them, I was like when you see them on the internet and you seeing them in pictures and people's videos and stuff, it's different.
It is.
Whenever you see them in person, and it kind of just stops you and humbles you, and you thinking like this was built by man. And then you looking at like how perfectly aligned it is, and you seeing how massive they are and how far like distance wise it is,
right.
And you're just like, wow. So for me, like I was just like blown away. I know you got like some crazy stories, man. Did you go to the bazaar?
What's that?
Am I saying it right? That's where they have all the shops in the streets and you
Oh,
walk.
yes, I did.
That was the craziest part for me.
Okay.
I don't know about you.
That part, I was scared.
So what you got any stories on like
Well, first of all, my guy tried to hit on me.
your guide?
My guy tried to hit on me. Um, I had a very interesting experience. I had braids when I was there.
Right.
And since I went to Dubai first and in Egypt, I was very, 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 very dark. Like very dark. To the point to where I looked Nubian dark.
Right.
So when I went to Egypt, I got a lot of stares. But the stares weren't like, why is she here? It was more fascination. And I was confused until I went to the pyramid. My guide took me on a historical tour first and gave me the whole history about when Egypt started to when they got conquered a few times, all the way up until that time. So I was already caught up historically before going into the
Before
pyramid.
going, right.
Before I went there, I went to change clothes. I put on a head wrap. I put on a long dress because I didn't want to show any skin or anything like that because, mm-mm. But doing that, I got people staring at me, bowing, like bowing to me. I'm like, what are you doing? But then when I went in the pyramids, I understood. They had braids. In there, when you went in there, like the red, they were like reddish, brownish, and that's how my skin looked. So once I went into there, my guide explained to me, he basically was saying, this is you. Without saying, this is you. But he was explaining to me, like, this is why you're getting all of the attention, all of it, and then he tried to hit on me. So, I think that was the most interesting story for me was that someone who was so knowledgeable on Egypt took me into the pyramid and shared with me that is you. And that was the moment that truly changed my life because that was when I started to see myself a lot more greater than what I've known or what I ever thought. And remember, I told you I was depressed. I was going to find myself on this trip. So that was a moment that brought me back to center. And I haven't been the same since that day. Kid you not. I have not been the same since that day. And people always think I'm weird when I say this, but I naturally felt home there. I felt a really immense feeling
I know,
of comfort.
I know what you talking. I know
I
what you
felt
mean.
like
I know what you
comfort
mean. Yeah.
in the pyramids,
And
not out.
this is after you felt the nervousness of going there and seeing how hectic it is because it
Yeah.
is. The gram don't show that, but it is hectic. And so after that, you was able to come back center and be like, okay, cool.
I was glad I went. The next time I go, I would not be staying in Cairo. I would be staying where you stayed.
Tell them about the Red Sea. You went to the Red
I
Sea.
did go to the Red
How was it
Sea.
for you? Yeah, hell yeah.
It was
Beautiful.
it was amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm a woman of God. So I sat in the water for at least 45 minutes and just stared out and
The
meditated.
Red Sea.
Like, damn, Moses parted.
That's where he parted.
And then where I was at, I could see Mount Sinai.
Oh, word.
Yeah, where I was at, Mount Sinai was like, it wasn't close, but I could see it like in the horizon or whatever. I'm like, wow, I'm sitting. Like I was just, it was gorgeous. I snorkeled. I also did a submarine boat, so I got to see under the water.
People think, I mean, you look on the Instagram and like everything seems pretty like normal. But that was my first time, and I've been in water, blue water, but that was my first time being like under ocean blue
Didn't
water.
you deep sea dive
I surely did.
in the Red Sea?
I surely
How
did.
was that?
I don't know what I was on, yo. I had we went out and we snorkeled out in like deep sea water. Snorkeled and we did the scuba diving. But then they was like, "Hey, I want to swim with the dolphins." I'm like, yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, usually you gotta pay like a lot of money for that shit.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, yeah, cool, all right, yeah. And everybody wants to, go like get ready. So, all right, yeah, like, so where they at? Oh no, we're gonna jump off the boat. I'm like, okay, yeah, well, all right, where we gonna stop at? No, we're gonna jump off the boat. Like, why move?
I would
And
have
I'm like,
panicked.
damn. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. I was just feeling like that. And I had put on a life jacket because now I know how to swim, but I didn't want to risk jumping off because I ain't seen none of my people on the boat.
Right.
I didn't want to risk jumping off a moving boat in the ocean to swim with some dolphins and I catch a cramp.
Yeah.
So I had put on a life jacket and they strategically got in front of the dolphins or whatever. I got it on video. Um, it was like one of my favorite videos. I jumped off, swam towards them, got underneath with the GoPro, got beautiful footage. Got beautiful. That's something that I never thought about attempting doing. Like you see people doing that stuff, like they crazy as hell. But you know, when you traveling, sometimes you get caught up in the moment, and sometimes you gotta still know who you are, but you gotta be able to like relax a little bit and what I'm saying, enjoy yourself. And I'm glad that I did that because it gave me a different perspective. Because our people like I ain't doing this shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you went up and did the dinner on the
sky
in Dubai. Yeah.
I did everything. I can't
You have.
swim, but I swim with whale sharks.
You did.
I cannot swim.
You did do that. Was that in Mexico?
It was in Mexico. I swim with whale sharks. I also jumped in the middle of the ocean in Greece.
You did.
I did everything. So I understand the living in the moment and not even expecting. You had no plan to do that. But to swim with dolphins in the Red Sea.
To swim with dolphins in the Red Sea. It don't even feel like I did it for real. Like it really don't. Like when you say it out loud, it's like, dang.
Swim with dolphins in the Red Sea. And when my guy, Hakeem, if y'all ever go to the Red Sea in Egypt, Hakeem is the best guide on planet Earth. He was so nice. He put his jacket on the ground so I wouldn't step on a puddle and taught me how to cross the Egypt street because crossing the streets in Egypt is insane. But he was so nice.
What city was y'all in? I do want to let everybody know. I was in Hurghada. I was in Hurghada. Hurghada is way different from Cairo. Everything we saying about Cairo is not the same when we talking about the Red Sea Hurghada. When I was in Hurghada, it was a different vibe. It was chill. You're still going to be getting hustled, but it's less of the hassle.
It's classy hustle.
And it's more relaxing. I did not have a guide, but I feel like you can get around Hurghada without a guide.
You can.
Still got to be planned. You still got to have things planned out. But if you go to Cairo, you need a guide.
Especially as a woman.
Especially as a woman.
A trusted guide. Get an American travel agent.
I could just recommend my guy, Muhammad. I've been with him twice. I went twice. I just went this last summer. Yeah, I double back. Had to spin the block. I had a crazy story. I got a few. Okay. But I got out the car and usually I have my GoPro on my chest because I'm gonna save the story of the first time I went because the police tried to hit me up.
I remember that. I remember you texted me and you said that they didn't want you to record or something.
Yeah, but I wouldn't even record. I was on the street. Like it wasn't nothing like crazy. I didn't break no laws, but that's a whole nother story. I'm gonna save that for another episode. But I started wearing it on my chest, my GoPro. And this time I didn't have the GoPro on my chest. And so I get out the car. And when I get out the car, it was a man, he had one leg. But we see disabled people all the time. We're not really thinking nothing of it. You know what I'm saying? But he was disabled from like the thigh, like the growing, but he was like crawling to me like this. He was crawling like this with a cup, like on the ground. So like that shit threw me way off. Way off. It wasn't the one leg. It was.
It's just the thought.
Yo, nah, he was crawling in your boy like a spider. Yo, I'm over here looking like, what the fuck going on? Yo, he had that cup. You already know what he wanted. And I was like, shit. I took a step back. I popped out my head because I did not know what the hell was happening. Like, I never seen somebody crawl. Like, he crawled up on you, boy. I'm like, damn, I wish I had this on my GoPro. and so, and so, he ended up, I didn't have nothing for him. I would have gave him some, but I didn't have nothing for him. But that's the kind of crazy stuff you see in Egypt, especially in Cairo. I had another guy, same day. Now, I'm going to tell you 3 things that happened within 2 hours of me being out there. There was another guy was getting something to eat. He come and tapped me on the shoulder. He had a big gash in his leg. I'm talking about this big. It was like pink and like red, and it was like a whole bunch of dirt in it. But it was big, yo.
Was it?
At 1,000%. And I ain't even no doctor. Like, you could tell it was infected. And I was like, damn, he wanted some money. I legit did not have any money to give him. I would have gave him them, them pounds and stuff. It's no problem. But yo, I didn't have nothing. But like the way they get it is different, and they're not going to take no for an answer.
They will not
right away. Like, you're gonna have to
look. They use their saddest moment against you.
The kids do it. The kids
do this.
They do this. Yep. Yep.
Like,
and you want it, like, look, I'll give it to you, but I really ain't got no cash.
I don't, but you gotta be careful because it's a family thing. The kids will come and they'll rub their belly, like you said, the gash in the leg. They use their saddest moment to try to reel you in, and they will not take. You gotta tell them no.
You gotta look them in the eyes. You gotta look them in the eyes and say no.
And you gotta be dead serious.
Yeah.
Because if you show any lick of empathy, they're gonna still see that it's a chance for them to get it out of you. It was the kid. The hit didn't have no shoes.
I got a video on the channel. It's 4 minutes. I cut it down. It was 30. The kid followed me for 30 minutes.
Really?
I'm talking about followed me all the way to the car, got in the car, and then he followed the car because it was like traffic. Followed the car on the window, everything. I really legit. I wanted to give him, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all, anybody got some bread? So the guy was like, nah, we ain't giving him nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, don't do it. You know, like, because once you do it, next person gonna do it. And it's like, them people out there, they really are struggling. You got people that's out there that's really, really struggling. I really can't give no game and tips on like what they should do, because if you go to Cairo and see how they living,
if you got a heart,
yeah,
you will want to give everything.
For our audience, is it safe to go to Egypt?
Is it safe?
Yeah.
If you got a plan, if you got a guide, and if you are aware of their customs. If you eat Cairo, Egypt specifically, it's not a place to just wake up one day and say, I want to go to Egypt and go. You have to have a plan. I don't recommend going out at night in Cairo if you are a woman. I don't know what your experience is like as a man, but I don't recommend women to go out at night in Cairo as a woman. And I recommend having 1 to 2 guys. I had 2 guys the whole entire trip. I didn't change up because I needed to build that trust. But get you a guy who can say no for you. Both of my guys defended me. They said no. They told me when somebody was trying to get over on me, and they told me when somebody wasn't going to get over on me.
Yeah, shout out to Muhammad. I'm telling you, he was killing all that shit. And the people that he did take me to, they were like, they gave me good deals on the things I did buy. So again, I'm gonna leave a link to Muhammad in the description link. Before we wrap this up, I do want to ask you, like, being an entrepreneur, a mother, you do a lot of things. You was telling me all this when we met. I was like, dang. And then when we went our separate ways. By the way, the necklace you got me, I still got it close. I still got it. It sits in my little cabinet at my desk in my home.
Okay,
Like,
good.
yeah, nah, it's close to me.
That was customly made.
I know. I know.
I watched him weld it.
Because when I went back, I had got one. I was like, oh nah, this is like, yeah, nah, I keep it
Yeah,
solid.
I watched
I
him
haven't
weld it.
wore it. I still got the bag. It's still in
Oh,
there.
nice.
Yeah, I keep it in my little archives of my travels. So like I really do
Good.
appreciate that. But with everything that you got going on, because you have a lot going on, very decorated, accomplished woman. How do you see this impacting your daughter? Because
Traveling.
okay,
Is that what you're asking? How do I see traveling impacting my daughter, or just the things I'm doing in general?
well, I feel like it all ties in because traveling and doing all the things you're doing, I feel like to be a well-rounded individual, you have to travel. I personally,
agree.
you know what I'm saying. Some people might see it otherwise, but I'm like, if you ain't seen other places with you know different customs of living, then you can't really speak on certain things. But for what I've noticed is that like your daughter, she's very charismatic, and I'm like, she's gonna be very special when she like gets older. Like, how do you feel like what you've done has impacted that?
Wow. Let's see. Reagan is very unique. I always say that she wasn't born for me to be her mother. She was born for her to be my child. I feel like her presence impacts me way more than me impacting her. And that's because I learned from her just as much as she learned from me. But I never realized that she's really never seen anything outside of what I've shown her. Sometimes it's hard for me to grasp it as a parent. Like one day, she was told at school that her hair was ugly. She had natural bliss. Another culture, a white little girl, told her her hair was ugly. Of course, my natural mindset was, your hair is not ugly. Don't believe her. Like this, and that. But then I had to pause and was like, wow, you don't know about history for real like that. You don't understand why that is as strong as it is because you're 8. You didn't live my life and you have not seen the word yet at all. So I had to make her watch goddesses and stuff on YouTube and teach her about how hair is powerful. And she popped up 30 days later said she went to her afro to school. And she wore an afro.
Your daughter,
my daughter.
she went into her own research.
I made her watch goddesses and braids and the history of it. And then I also put her in a braiding class. I taught her how they used to use braids and stuff in slavery to, find freedom and things like that. From there, she took it by herself. And
Did you see the mummies?
I did see the mummies.
You see, they had their hair braided too.
They did have
They
braids.
did.
It was sticking out and everything.
You could have. We're gonna go there. We could have showed her the scriptures too.
I could have shown her.
And that could have killed it all.
I could have shown her the scriptures. We gotta have a whole nother episode.
For sure.
Those are the types of things I teach her.
Uh-huh.
And once she saw that, my hair has power is what she says now. So anytime she has hard days or tests or if anything happens at school, I wish I had my furrow today. So when you ask me how is what I'm doing impacting her, my daughter will never have to go in this world not knowing who she is, not only from being a black little girl, but being who she is as a person. I don't force anything on her. I want her to explore. I make her do everything, chess, flag football, basketball, music, dance, but that's so she can discover what she really loves. If she end up loving planting, she can get in planting. But since I've explored so much in my career, in my life, schooling, job, I've explored everything. Traveling. You
was in the corporate world.
I was in corporate.
You left corporate and then you went to travel, right? I remember that.
I was in tech startup, multiple tech startups actually. So my life is very versatile. That is going to my daughter. All those teachings I've learned, is going to her. I would have never been able to tell her, watch these Egyptians, they are goddesses, if I didn't go to Egypt. I would have never been able to teach her that her hair has strength and teach her how to conduct herself in that situation if I didn't work in corporate. So all of that wisdom that's brewed into me is being passed to her. So I don't look at it as being a generational breaker. I look at it as being a generational starter. With her, I'm starting new things that's going to go to my grandkids, my great grandkids, and so on and so on and so on. So thanks to my journey is given a new start. And it's not repeating any old cycles from health all the way down to experiences. So that's how it's going to help her. That's how it's impacting her.
For all the places you've traveled.
Tulum, London, Dubai, Egypt, Greece, Santorini, and Mykonos, and Istanbul, Turkey. And I only went to Istanbul because you told me I should go.
What you think?
You know, I didn't. Istanbul was one of the countries I didn't do research before I went. I just went because you said you should go to Istanbul. I'm like, cool. If he said I should go, I'm gonna go. They got the best meatballs on planet Earth. They meatballs is good. I was.
Go ahead and keep it all the way real.
That one wasn't scary or chaotic. Their people are mean.
Okay.
The airport, first of all, the yelling.
At you?
Yeah.
Directly at you. Yeah. Explain.
Like once I realized that Turkish in Istanbul, I'm just gonna say there because that's the only place I visited. They're very like they're just full of. I don't want to say anger.
These are two different experiences, by the way, but we on the same. I'm with you.
Okay,
I'm with you.
like their energy was just very negative, and the lady at the booth was yelling at me in my face, like I'm not yelling. Where's your ticket? Give me your ticket. Get in the back. I'm like, why are you? I started laughing because I was so confused. Like, is anybody hearing this? But she did it to everybody else too. So it wasn't just me. And if it wasn't for me stopping in Turkey first, I'm not going to lie. I would have most definitely thought she was just attacking me because I was black, because I was the only black person. But once I saw her do it to everybody else, I'm like, wow, this is the norm. Then the ticket lady taking the ticket, yelling, rushing, snatching tickets. I'm like, oh, this snatching.
I'm already knowing.
I'm like, what the hell is wrong with y'all? But that's the thing about traveling to different countries. You can't get sensitive because their culture is really their culture. So I had to understand where I was at real quick and adapt, because my experience at the airport let me know that was going to be my experience when I went. But surprisingly, it wasn't. They wasn't like that in actually Istanbul. But I did feel like I had to be a lot more aware because I got stared at there. But the staring there was more like a praise stare versus a fascination stare or a curious stare. And I just
prayish, what you mean?
prayish, as in they were plotting on me.
In Istanbul.
In Istanbul.
Yo, I got stories on Istanbul. I've been there 5 times.
Like it?
Well, you know, when you travel Turkish, like those who travel know, when you travel Turkish, you always gonna have like a 17, 18-hour layover. So you gotta spend the night. But twice I actually stayed for a few days and went out and about. It's a beautiful city.
It is.
Gorgeous. And there is some cool things to go out there and see, look at, and buy. You are safe. But if you are especially a Black American, I would definitely say stay on your P's and Q's, because they are going to already look at you and judge you, especially when you open up your mouth and start speaking. I got plenty of stories. People might say things differently. People might disagree with what I'm saying, but whatever. I've been there too many times, and I've had the same experience every single time, especially when you just handed them a ticket. One time when I went, I was like kind of like, I was listening to some music or whatever, and I was like kind of like mumbling the beat, and the dude at the counter was stop, did like that. I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like I had to take my shit off. Like he yelled and like looked at me, stared me down, and then looked at my shit. Gave it back to them. And I was like, God,
they're angry.
At the airport, they don't customer service there is out and about. It was two girls that was taking my picture. I was like, hey, can you take my picture for me? And I was like, yeah, sure. Took my picture. They started asking me where I was from. We started having a conversation. Police officer came up, spoke to them, said something to them, walked away. I was like, and then she was like, yeah, he asked if we was okay. This is at the Blue Mosque.
What?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that right there,
now.
now, did that make me put this whole like negative stench on Istanbul? No, it didn't do that. But when you go to these other countries, you do have to understand it's not only that you might be a minority, but when you're an American, sometimes you go to these places just by you being an American. You just got to do your research and follow in line with the customs, like she said. But out of all the places you've been, what's your favorite?
Egypt.
Egypt. I was surprised. I tell people Dubai because I get to Dubai and I get to act brand new.
Dubai makes you feel rich.
Yeah, I get to acting brand new, and it's not expensive at all. But
unless you make it.
Yeah, exactly. Any travel tips for the women, especially? Any travel tips?
Don't go travel just because your friends will not go with you. That's the rule number one. If you want to go somewhere, go. Because life is too short to be waiting on others to catch up with your vision, to catch up with what you want to experience. Experiences are priceless. Just go. The next thing I would say is when you do go, make sure you do your research. And something I learned from him is to register your trip with the embassy, U.S. Embassy. Register your trip. When I went to Turkey, literally 2 days after I left, it was the fire. The whole area caught on fire and stuff. Well, I had got notifications from the U.S. Embassy about what was going on. They checked on me and everything. So do that. Third thing I would say is if you're solo traveling, get a travel agent. That was one of the best game changers for me. I loved it because I didn't have to stress about waking up, where I'm going to be at, booking anything. My travel agent literally looked up everything for me, made my itinerary, took my money, and I was able to enjoy it as if I was Beyonce. And then the fourth thing I would say is shift the attitude. When you go to these countries, understand that they can only perceive us what they see in their world. They can only perceive us based off TV, music, and whatever else they hear. Some countries will see us as goddesses and some will not. Don't take it offensive. Just understand that everyone has their teachings and their learning. And we're not there to be angry or to judge them. We're there to experience our culture. We're in their world. So be respectful. That was my tip.
Yeah, I think we got to the bottom of it. I think we got to the bottom of it. It's an honor, like sitting here and us having this second interaction like this. I'm proud of you, by the way. You've been doing your thing.
Thank you.
A media company, Nashville, Tennessee. Look them up if you have wedding.
Nope.
No weddings?
We don't do weddings anymore.
Y'all don't do weddings no more?
Nope.
All right,
We do
you got the
commercials. We do brand story videos. We solely focus on helping brands build their culture in the media space.
Killing the game. Thank you for joining us today. This is Making It Look Easy. See you on the next one.